What happens when a young, talented team realizes that skill alone won't win playoff series? When do you stop chasing the flashy offensive stars and start building a foundation that actually wins championships? Welcome back, folks. It's Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. And we got a fascinating report that brings the Montreal Canadiens trade deadline strategy back down to earth in the best possible way. According to William Bourget, Kent Hughes has refined his approach. After flirting with expensive offensive talent like Jordan Kyrou, Montreal is now focused on three names that won't sell jerseys based on skill, but will absolutely win games in April and May. Blake Coleman, Carson Soucy, and Erik Haula. These are the players who know how to close doors. These are the veterans who understand what it takes to compete in the playoffs. And honestly, this is exactly the right strategy for where Montreal is right now. Let's start with Blake Coleman, because he remains a crown jewel of this potential acquisition strategy. We've talked about Coleman extensively throughout this trade deadline cycle, and the report confirms what we've always known. He's got 2 Stanley Cup rings. That's championship pedigree. That's the kind of experience you can't teach. Coleman brings more than just rings, though. He brings a mentality. He brings the understanding of what it takes to win when the games matter most. He's a motor. He's relentless. He's the kind of player who makes opponents hate playing against him because he never stops working. And yes, he's still productive. 13 goals this season. He can still contribute offensively, but his real value is in the forecheck and the penalty kill. He's a guy who wears down opposing defenses over the course of a series. He's the player who creates space for your stars by making life miserable for the opposition. Now here's the crucial detail. The cost. The report states that acquiring Coleman would probably require a significant acquisition cost, possibly a first-round pick. That's a big ask. You're talking about giving up a first-round pick for a 34-year-old player with a $4.9 million contract for next season. But here's why it might be worth it. It's a statement. It's Kent Hughes telling his young core, I believe in you enough to spend a future to help you win now. It's saying, we're not just making playoffs. We're going to compete for a Stanley Cup. That kind of commitment can change a locker room's mentality. It can elevate a team from we're happy to be here to we're here to win. Now let's talk about Carson Soucy, because this is where the report gets really smart tactically. Soucy is currently with the New York Rangers, a team that's clearly in liquidation mode. He's set to become a free agent, which means Montreal can acquire him without giving up significant assets. And here's why he's perfect for Montreal. The Canadiens have a small, offensive-minded defense with Lane Hutson and Mike Matheson. They need a physical presence on the back end. They need someone who can clear the front of the net, who can take up space, who can be a wall in front of the goaltender. At 6'4", Soucy brings exactly that element. He's a defenseman who plays a heavy, physical game. He's not going to put up points, but he's going to make opponents pay a price for every inch of ice they try to take in the defensive zone. And the cost should be minimal. Coming from a desperate team like New York, he might only require a 4th-round pick or a low-level prospect. That's the definition of low-risk, high-utility. You're adding a physical presence without mortgaging anything significant. This is the kind of move that wins playoff series. You don't win in April and May by scoring 4 goals. You win by preventing 4 goals. You win by being physical. You win by having defensemen who can shut down the opposition's top lines. Then there's Erik Haula, who we've discussed before as a safety option if the price for Coleman gets too high. If Hughes decides he's not willing to spend a first-round pick, Haula is the backup plan. He does 80% of what Coleman does for 30% of the cost. Haula brings grit, speed, and playoff experience. He's the kind of player who thrives when games get tight and physical. He's reliable. He's dependable. He won't let you down when you need him most. And here's the beautiful part of the strategy. It's balanced. You've got Coleman bringing championship pedigree and relentless work ethic. You've got Soucy bringing physical presence on defense. You've got Haula bringing versatility and depth scoring. Together, these three players transform Montreal from a young, talented team into a young, talented team that also knows how to win. They bring the intangibles that championships are built on. The report nails the conclusion perfectly. Montreal is in third place in the Atlantic. They're going to make the playoffs. The question is whether they want to just participate or whether they want to actually scare someone. If Hughes brings in Coleman and Soucy, if he commits to the strategy of adding veterans who know how to win, the Canadiens become a genuinely dangerous playoff team. You're not just hoping your young stars outskill the opposition. You're also grinding them down physically. You're also shutting down their best players. You're also making them hate playing against you. That's how you win in the playoffs. That's how you go from first-round exit to conference finals contender. And here's what I love about this approach. It's not reckless. It's not mortgaging the entire future for one player. It's strategic. It's calculated. It's saying, we're going to add the pieces that address our specific weaknesses without compromising our long-term vision. Montreal's weakness isn't scoring. They're fifth in the league in goals per game. Their weakness is defense. They're allowing too many goals. Adding Soucy addresses that. Adding Coleman addresses that by bringing a relentless forecheck that wears down opponents. If Kent Hughes executes this plan, if he brings in Coleman and Soucy and maybe Haula as depth, the Canadiens suddenly become a team that's very difficult to beat in a playoff series. You got the young skill. You've got the veteran leadership. You've got the physical presence. You've got the championship experience. That's a complete team. That's a team that can make noise in the postseason. What do you think, folks? Is this the right strategy for Montreal? Should Kent Hughes commit a first-round pick to Blake Coleman if it means bringing in championship pedigree and relentless work ethic? Is Carson Soucy the perfect complement to add physical presence on defense? Would you rather see Montreal go all in on one big star like Jordan Kyrou, or build a balanced roster with veterans like Coleman, Soucy, and Haula? Drop your thoughts in the comment below. And don't forget to hit that like button, because this trade deadline strategy is coming into focus, and we're going to be covering every move as Kent Hughes continues to shape the Montreal Canadiens into a playoff contender.